And we're on air. That was actually pretty quick. Hello, everyone. This is NGGC. Joining you again with a React video, this time from MLP Season 8, Episode 10. Wow, we're almost halfway through the season already. Joining me again is Herd of Bronies.
Hello, all you ponies. I'm a herd of bronies. Welcome back to Let's Watch Season 8. And in this episode, we promise to have the audio synced up correctly.
That's a promise and a guarantee.
All right. Next up, Carlos.
It's time for a breakdown, 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 shining justice, all time man, brand new breakdown, Ishigami and Namazu. This is a parody of JoJo Bizarre Adventures Part 4 opening of all the shining justice coming here with all. This is gunmetal, glider, gator in here. Or you may know me as you know Brony. Now come and all we are here for an 8-bit reaction with your host. Now we all going down up in here with the mouse. 1995 Bizarre Summer. Everybody wanted them to go to Ventura. Great days.
Woo!
Who did the inspiring work on that lip guitar?
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I've been waiting for this episode for 10 weeks to come up with
God.
I thought it was the next episode you were waiting for.
Yeah, I think it's the next one you're waiting for.
Oh, yeah, that. But as soon as I realized what this episode's title was, I was like, my God, I had the perfect excuse to do all the JoJo-isms.
All right. But unfortunately, Jenn is not here, but fortunately, she's not the one who has to follow that up. But in her play, Day Lover.
Hey, I'm Day Lover. That's it.
Oh, Day Lover. I'm sorry you have to be relegated to the Jenn spot there.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh.
And up next, Second.
Hi, I'm the Second Opinion, and from a critic first and a fan second, yeah, I think I'm gonna forego making this into a whole rock concert and just get to the episode now.
Yay! Boop, 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 boop.
So we're gonna get to the episode right now. Hey, until tomorrow.
Actually, I'm gonna have to say.
He's gonna have to say.
I'm gonna have to pause it for a second. Imaginary pause.
Yay!
Pause.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Because Jenn is now on. And joining us again is Jenn.
Hello, everybody. It's Jenn here. Sorry I'm late. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you
That's right,
gotta
we
miss.
lied. She's here after all.
Yep.
Hooray!
Yeah, you just gotta miss Unova's
Epic song,
ballad
yeah.
intro.
Oh man.
You can watch the video when it comes out.
Okay.
And
You
I
don't
had to
have to
follow
follow
that
it.
up.
The one time where I don't have to follow Unova's thunder, and I'm actually sad about it.
Aw.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
I know. Emergencies.
Only now you can appreciate life a lot more now the way things are.
I'll never complain again. I'll never complain about following Unova's thunderous intros ever again. Rage and roar all you want. Rage and roar all you want. Rage and roar all you want. I'll never complain ever again. I'll cherish them.
All right. With that said, though, are you all ready to watch the episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Here we go.
Yay.
There's like a lot of black screen.
That looks good.
Looks
Ooh,
like
black screen.
Oh
looks
no.
like Big Mac has a pie in the oven. Oh God! Spike, what are you doing in this environment?
So I saw this intro before. Guess what's coming up?
Yay.
Oh!
Oh,
Yeah, we want the
that.
chaos. We want the chaos pie.
Captain Woods, are you prepared to enter the world of ogres and oubliettes?
Oh, that's cheating. Oh no. That's not
that
nice.
was
Discord!
Nerd.
You did summon me for a rousing guys' night of ogres and oubliettes, did you not?
Oh.
Discord's really gotten into this.
But
Sort of not.
you magically heard of this private first.
You seem to be mixing up the Lord of Chaos with a second-rate clown.
Oh.
Wait!
This needs to go in the mail today, or it'll never get to Sugarbell in time for Hearts and Hooves.
Oh.
Please, can't you see that holiday is pushed on you by
Oh, this
He's kind of right, but
Oh, come on.
This-
I sound like half the good things in everyone's lives get started anyway.
Keep your eye on the pie. It's magic!
Okay, that was the best pre-opening sequence.
Yeah, that was amazing. At least it's not the Sugar Bell that has a pie in the oven.
Look, there they are in the intro.
Yay!
Yeah, but seriously, though, what a way to turn around having Spike in the Apple Family farm, especially since it's the most controversial episode.
Yay, shenanigans!
Yes, more guy shenanigans. This is what
Oh
I
no!
live
What
for.
kind of
Oh, that looks so
broing out?
delicious.
It's broing out with Big Mac and Spike.
Palatable.
Now I want apple pie.
Our Sugarbell's thing, but I think that makes us all the more special. It shows
Yeah,
you're
well, Big
interested in
Mac
magic
does
and
have an apple on his flank. You think he
Yeah,
could do
that's
something
true.
with them?
romantic Hearts and Hooves dinner.
Oh, there's small heart shapes in the pie. That's
Oh, it's another Ninconvalone
Happy Hearts and
episode.
Hooves Day.
Yeah, well.
In my bar at sunset
Come on.
for a surprise.
There's Discord in it, so how can it go wrong?
I think Neil just set out demonstrated that very clearly.
Oh boy,
Ah, come
famous
on.
famous last words.
Yeah.
Aw,
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh,
Certainly have bought into this
Well-
Sugar
romance
Bell.
business.
That's cute.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yay.
for a formerly friendless immortal despot.
I'm a realist and love like all things warm and fuzzy.
What a contradiction.
Nice.
Discord, the master of chaos, to be a
Why-
realist.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you be cynical?
But I do.
It's
Kinda like how
chaos.
Joker's apparently a believer in the afterlife.
God,
I mean, no.
it's like Metatron!
And we know Spike's ship.
Cinnamon pumpkin.
I mean, no Spike ship's fluttercord now.
Yeah.
Tell you what, while Big Mac mails his
Spike.
incredibly romantic gesture, I'll show you the splendors.
That
of
was some
Hearts and
extra
Hooves
claws
Day.
on Discord's
I bet I can
claw.
prove you believe in love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Make
seem
sure he
to
added
really
up
have-
and counts everything.
They seem to have upped Spike's animation this season.
Oh yeah, loser mows my lawn.
Is it like a riding motor?
Yeah.
Like, you are a sucker.
Whack the wibbles.
Oh, God! Hey!
Talk,
Cubby!
talk, Tim.
Alright, well, surely this is going to go off without a hitch.
Talk.
What?
I
Aww.
demand you talk, Derpy.
Oh no, no, it's the wrong address.
Oh no!
What?
Oh no! I'm getting flashbacks of my job!
Oh,
Yay!
Beauty Marker Singers is now in session.
Oh,
First order
God.
of business, helping my big
This is
brother
a sequel to that episode as well.
Oh, they're so
Uh-oh.
cute.
Hello.
Aw.
It seems like every pony's got something special about us. When's it gonna be out?
Sailors
It's
are
going a
doing
little
that.
fast, though.
Oh!
Oh,
boy,
no.
From
Of course.
that tail. It's all smudged, but
Oh, no.
it looks like
Oh no!
You've got to be kidding!
This is gonna be. Oh.
I knew they were going to do this at some point.
Somebody certainly went through a lot of trouble for me on Hearts and Hooves.
That's so cute.
Well, this seems like it's gonna hurt.
Oh no. And nothing hurts more than finding out a pie is not yours.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
opportunity was too good to pass.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're so cute.
So the
If
guy
anybody
said-
actually starts shipping Big Mac and Sweetie Belle after this, I swear.
No,
I'm
don't
gonna
put
go
on
on
their
out of
heads.
vendetta
It's
against
already
them.
there.
No.
Unfortunately, the ship probably already exists.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no!
I was going to say, yeah, don't make it worse.
It's too late. It's already happened.
Yeah.
Utmost clarity.
It's not just the ship has not only sailed, but it's been around the world. It's been around the world a few times.
Love is something, and discord is great.
Oh, he's trying to make a boat in that small stuff.
Dip in the bottle, yeah.
After you
Yeah.
believe in love and
Ooh.
Sugar Bell,
Oh,
Big Mac's girlfriend. What's she doing in town so early?
Oh wait,
You
and then
wanted
why
to
do you need to
surprise
hide
Big
from
Mac?
her?
I'm sure Big Mac won't be expecting it. She's planning her own romantic surprise for Big Mac. What if she goes to Sweet Apple Acres before Big Mac's ready with his?
oh yeah, that's true. The souffle!
Uh-huh.
Don't put Spike and the Series continuity in this
Big
episode.
Mac. We just saw Sugar Bell. She's at Sugar Cube Corner, but I think she's on her way over here now. You gotta keep her away from here until the barn's finished.
Go back.
Egats.
I wonder what she has planned for him.
No, we don't have to wonder.
That bush is really good to hide in, though.
Why is he hiding in the bush?
You don't want to know.
Just be honest. Oh, she hasn't. seen it yet. Take note, Discord. This is what love is all about.
Spike.
Show me love.
Look at Big Mac's face and
Oh,
tell
they
me you don't
didn't
believe in love.
try to pretend that Discord actually thought that.
Without the love potion.
Oh my god.
No!
Anxiety.
Oh?
Oh, okay. We're just
Not spying at all.
I mean, he has been on his own before, so he'll be fine, right? How should I tell Big Mac tonight? You won't need
Well,
to
I'm
come
sure this
visit
is
me
going
in
to
the
be
village
exactly
anymore.
what it sounds like.
Yep.
We need to
Yeah.
talk. Just be honest with him. You're right. Okay.
Uh-oh.
We've finished.
Those are the wrong words.
Oh,
No!
And
The four
it
words
sounds
that
like-
the 4 words that every male is scared to hear.
oh no. Oh,
Well,
he's
Nick Confalone, you
oh,
got
that's
that
not going
right.
to help you.
Maybe they're really not. Maybe
Well, Nick Confalone, you got that right.
You're going to say it like, hey, remember
Ah.
yesterday? That's
Spike.
because it's today.
when you act that way, if Riley said that to you.
I know. Maybe Sugar Bill has a wacky cousin who's never been on his own, and she has.
Oh, the convoluted stories to make him feel better, Spike. You're so
Not
sweet.
helping.
Because she'll already be here.
Okay,
But
well,
he's
if they're
trying.
calling out the whole, like, oh no, she meant something else by what she said trope,
Yeah.
Alcoholic
I'm not
references.
entirely sure where they're gonna go with this.
Aw.
Maybe Sugar Bell is moving to Ponyville. No.
Oh, I hate seeing you like this, Big Mac.
Oh.
Oh,
Yes, I'm calling an emergency
Oh.
guys night
Oh,
right
poor Big
now
Mac.
to cheer you up.
I don't think he's really ready.
Besides, we can't have you ruining.
Why did you give him that then?
monogrammed handkerchiefs.
Yeah, just, well, can't you just snap your fingers and put them back to normal?
Ew.
Yeah, milkshakes, because that's going to help on
Class is
everything.
now in session.
Fedoras for everyone.
You can break your heart if you only
Oh.
You've got
No,
to show
you
the
shouldn't
pony that you're
do
too
that.
cool to be bothered with so-called love.
Oh.
Observe. This is how cool guys move. When you see
We have to learn to lean like that.
Yes.
Cool. Wow, that guy doesn't have a care in Equestria.
Oh my gosh! Discord just figured it out! That is totally what we think. Day Lover, that is totally what we girls think when we see a guy like leaning against a wall, right? Oh my gosh, Discord's just blown our minds.
Lesson 2. Plenty of ponies in the pasture, right, Big Mac? I know just the gal to make you forget all about Sugar Belle.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Is this what I've always wanted? A somewhat Spike CMC episode? Oh god! Dreams do come true!
But together, we're gonna get to the bottom.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh my god!
Excuse me, Bisquick.
Cutie Mark Crusader Makers.
Oh, so cute.
The actual ship for
Hey, Button Mash!
No, we gotta wait!
Yes.
Did you boys happen to send any packages to me recently?
Did your voice actor happen to do any lines?
I won't be offended. Please say no.
Oh no, Sweetie Belle, Snails is a champion athlete now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Discord, you.
Get to know each other. Why don't you?
Wow, you're really going all out to cheer up Big Mac. I'm impressed.
I know that beauty is only skin deep, but dating a skeleton isn't that?
Well, that kind of takes the skin deep angle out of it.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I'm helping our friend first and foremost.
P4! You mean?
He's showing her a picture of.
Why would you talk about your ex?
Sugar Belle.
Yay.
And now he's
No.
He's not over her. Come on.
Oh.
Give me that.
cut it out.
Can't you just make another one?
Her nose would wrinkle when she laughed.
No.
Right there. In that hole where your nose used to
So cute.
I never told her how much I loved Wrinkle Nose Cutie Face. How I never will.
Oh no. That's just terrible.
Okay, I think we've had enough of the aloof mouth.
Okay, now I feel sorry for the drawing.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a problem too
Same.
big to solve.
No!
I hide from her. If you find you, she'll realize how much she misses you. Plus, if she can't find you,
Oh.
she can't.
No, don't hide from your
No.
Dramatic
father.
scout.
And this is why Spike is not a good relationship coach.
I don't get it. We
Alright.
use every
The star versus
Oh,
the star butterfly approach to dealing with problems.
Some pony obvious.
Well,
Some pony
He's just doing what they've been doing this whole episode.
Oh, well, at least the barn's looking great for Big
Mhm.
Mac's date.
It looks cute, yeah. Oh, stop it, Discord. No.
Sugar Belle is so
Discord,
lucky
the
to have
shoulder
a
demon.
admirer like
Yeah.
you, Mac.
Well, she certainly doesn't seem
He's not a soul.
appreciated.
Oh, no.
Look at
That Discord.
What did I ever do to deserve
Oh
this?
god!
Ah.
What did she do to deserve this?
Oh no!
No, no.
Well, not yet, technically. In fact, she can't.
Discord,
Oh,
no stealing
no.
love, right?
Oh, that's terrible. Well, he is the master of chaos, so.
Oh no, no!
My
And of course.
surprise Big Mac with the news. Imagine the look on his face when I tell him we need to talk. Oh, dear me, no. I told you, don't say it.
No!
Or he'll think you're breaking up with him.
Of
Up with
course.
him? Never. Why, without my
Exactly
favorite
right.
pony, I couldn't imagine being happy ever again. He knows that. Good. Gator picked up for him.
Yay.
Always say.
Nice pun.
Okay, better.
Listen to that pony. I promise
It's
you
coming.
won't
Oh
miss that.
god!
Action is coming.
Big Mac.
And of course.
Oh god! No!
No.
Uh-oh.
He's
The
actually
horseshoes
going
on the
Oh
other hoof.
no!
I know why you're here.
What's going on here?
I have something.
I just hate it when this happens.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. Oh, why don't we tell each other on three?
No!
One,
No.
What's over?
You and
Oh,
No.
oh god!
Looking up.
Even with the leads.
Don't understand. Why are you breaking up.
Lean like that.
Mac, please talk to me.
This is why I'm talking.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh.
Well, that just made the bronies very happy.
Yay!
And that just made me very unhappy.
Could you tell that a song was going to go there?
Maybe.
They cut it out.
Oh!
Maybe.
They did?
Oh, thank goodness. You gotta help us with this. Dude, how long have you been not hiding?
Oh my god, this girl, you little dick!
We all should go.
Did she, are you...
Oh, Spike is so considerate.
Big Mac? What's going on? Where's Sugar Belle?
Just go.
She wanted you to talk about it, then she probably wasn't breaking up with you. I mean, like...
If you could just...
Not right now.
But I can't stand having a secret admirer who's too scared to tell me who he is.
Maybe he doesn't like talking.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe he used to talk too much and only ever got into trouble.
No, that's too much.
Oh!
Oh, my heart.
What if you're right, Discord?
Oh!
Love isn't real at all.
Everything is shattering before these young ones.
Oh, where did Discord go?
Lady Belle, I'm just mad and I'm
Oh,
taking it
no.
out on you.
That's okay. I bet it felt good to get it out, though.
Actually,
That was
it did.
generous.
Telling you how I felt just then.
Oh!
I gotta go.
Big Mac, where you going?
I gotta talk to
Yay!
He's not even there.
Items your magic and... Guess you have better things to do. Big Mac's gonna need a miracle.
Oh.
Oh!
I keep forgetting that she
Caught you just in time. We both know I don't like to say much, but I'm gonna say something now. Even though I'm hurting, I wouldn't trade this feeling for anything, because it'd mean giving up the good times we had too. I only broke up
Eternal
with you
sunshine of the spotless
because you're
mind.
gonna break up with me. I respect your decision, but you should know you'll always be in my heart.
I didn't want to break up with you.
But you said you don't need me to visit anymore. You said I'm gonna be on my own. I heard you said we're finished. When that sounds worse than it is.
Oh, Big Mac, I was talking about my cousin.
What?
I have a
Really?
wacky cousin who's
Hey,
really
Spike,
good.
you're right.
I have to let him run my shop on weekends, which is why you won't be delivering to my village anymore. Because I'm here practicing with Mrs.
Wait.
Jenn, who does that 2 days a week. No, 3. I'd never break up
So,
with you.
Sugar Belle's literally gonna be assistant with Pinkie Pie as well. Okay!
Okay.
So, Sugar Apple?
Talking instead of the
Sugar Apple! Yay! Or
Candy
glazed
apple. Wait, candy apple.
Big
There we
Bell.
go.
Aw.
You must have been awful confused at my breaking up with you after you got my pie.
Oh yeah, she didn't get the pie,
You
no.
didn't get the pie I sent? Or the invitation? Well,
Oh.
allow me to escort
Oh.
you to Hooves.
Oh. Oh, poor Sweetie Bill.
Mind if we join you?
Going to eat the cake or the pie.
The pie was a lie.
Oh, they're gonna get the invitation.
Whoa!
Oh no.
Happy Hearts and Hooves Day, Sugar Belle. Meet me. Not to be pulling our hooves. It was
Oh, they took that very well.
I've been sitting here feeling sorry for myself for not having a special pony on Hearts and Hooves Day, but remembering all the fun we had, I think I had.
Aww.
Wow.
Friendship
Nothing in this
love.
entire episode pointed in that direction whatsoever.
Aw, friendship marriage.
Realizing my secret admirer has all a lie has made me feel so much better because I've had good times with my friends that were never addressed in this episode, and yeah, this was definitely written by Nick Confalone.
Hey, we are not done yet.
Love is 100% real. Seriously? Discord, come on.
Yeah.
I can't believe you.
Oh!
Of Discord.
I knew you had a heart.
Speaking of how great I am, are you busy for the rest of the night? Calico's ring of
Yeah, play a little bit with him, yeah. Here and that.
Okay, Oubliettes. I thought you'd never ask. Oh, and just wondering, no biggie.
Oh, moving on. Spike, go.
She's an imaginary
My waifu.
And a Like It Hot reference.
Yay!
Okay.
That's how we're going out.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
That was actually a really charming episode.
Yes, it was, and I could definitely say
Really, what episode?
I said it was
This
really
episode.
charming.
this is the second good episode of the season.
Yep.
Nick
Yeah.
Confalone, you have been forsaken.
Given, you mean?
Oh, forgiven. Yeah.
Yay!
You have been absolved.
You have
Absolved.
redeemed yourself.
You
my
have
son.
redeemed yourself.
Welcome back.
Coming
Absolutely.
back.
And also shout out, and also very good idea putting in the we need to talk thing, and also a little bit of actual real life relationship advice.
Mm.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was quite clever. Very, very. I applaud you.
Yay!
I would also like to point out that I've actually wished for an episode sort of like this for like the longest time, actually. Ever since Just for Sidekicks back in season 3 of like another episode featuring Spike and the CMC.
Mhm.
Well,
Well,
ask
Yeah,
and
well,
you
they don't
shall.
really
Ask
do
and you shall.
anything. Though together.
I know, but this is the closest thing I can have for that. It's the
Yeah.
closest.
Well, ask and you sort of will receive.
Yay!
Yeah, I just really like the dual tagonist type of episode this was with like two groups, like both the CMC and the guys' night group.
Mm-hmm.
Although the
That's
CMC,
fun.
Well,
That's
sorry, go
funny. Sorry, go ahead.
just the CMC's subplot though really didn't go anywhere.
Well, it's supposed to show like there's different forms of love, like friendship love as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They forgot to actually show that with them.
No, they show that in the end though. They're hugging and saying
Oh, yeah,
like,
they have
"I'm so
Sweetie
happy
Belle
to have
say
you as
that.
friends."
Say that when it has nothing to do with anything that happened in the entire episode.
What second
And,
is trying to
Out, yeah.
what second they're trying to say is they're just sort of like just saying the progression instead of like showing the progression as they should have in between those moments of the episode.
Mm.
There's a reason the rule everybody remembers best is show, don't tell. It's a
But
catchy
they're
phrase
showing
that's
it
actually
as well.
true. No, they're telling, they're saying, like, oh wow,
Then you
my
should be
secret
happy,
admirer
though.
was not real. That makes me realize that what I should really be happy about is that I have such great friends to have so many
Yes!
adventures with, like the one
Yes!
that we didn't have this episode.
They had an adventure.
They had half an adventure, like they asked a bunch
Yeah.
of ponies who Sweetie Belle's secret admirer is, and then
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But do you want to know something? I feel like this episode had the CMC do more than the episode featuring Terramar, actually.
Oh,
Hmm.
You know,
That's true.
surfing our turf.
Yeah.
well,
Episode 6.
I mean, let me see. Well, I mean, I don't know. Surf and or turf, I feel like it did like shove Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo into the obligatory roles to tell the story it wanted to. But I mean, at least it had a complete plan for them. Like at least it finished what it started with them.
Eh,
But here's finished though also.
but I feel like they did more like action like in this episode than like what was supposed to be asked of them in like Surfing or Turf.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I mean, at least Sweetie Belle was good for like a moment in this episode. That useful that is. Surf and or Turf. They just sort of, hey,
argued.
let's show him how not to do this by being blockheads. All of a sudden,
It's like a common theme of season 8. Let's show them what not to do, and it's very terrible for the viewer's experience.
And also the CMC is going up really fast, but I think like it's because they're girls, right?
It's well, I don't know. Is this the same kind of environment where girls mature faster than guys, or in this case,
Maybe.
fillies mature faster than foals, or
Colts.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. Fillies mature faster than colts.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I guess we don't really have any sort of
not
like
even what they're doing, like, really.
Or do they mature at the same time?
Guess we'll find out.
That it's in general, but it can go by a case-by-case basis.
Depends on the writer, I bet.
Yeah.
But
Satyrs do seem to kind of be lurching back and forth though between maturity and not so much.
Yeah, but they're still though in that age where they have to figure stuff out.
Yeah, well, granted, but I mean, like, I should say the kind of maturity that the other kind of lurching back and forth between, stuff that apparently suggests that certain levels of immaturity are beyond them, and then others that say they're really not.
I think, like, Sweetie Belle was really mature in this one.
Yeah, and then looking at the Sweetie Belle who decided the most important thing was to convince Tara Moore that, picking land is the most important thing. It's like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we know that everybody's maturity and intelligence and stuff kind of varies with the writers by this point.
Yeah, Nick Offlone can't really do much with the main 6 characters. Everyone else is pretty great.
I think we just found the niche. We just found the niche for him.
I mean, he did okay with like Heartbreakers, the the Christmas episode. I mean, I like this better than that, granted, but I don't know. I feel like the gambit with him is like he is really not the best technical writer, but he is just like someone who gives everything to the just sheer creativity in the writing. Like even the mod couple, which absolutely all of us besides Daylover didn't like, he was like throwing lots and lots of creativity into it. It was just going into stuff that had nothing to do with anything we were like invested in. Like, hey, if Mudbriar has a mental plane he uses to do all his work, okay, that's cool. That kind of runs tangential to making him a tolerable character, but that's cool and all. Hey, we actually see Maud do stand-up comedy with like anti-jokes, and that's also cool. But we've seen Maud be funny before. It feels like you're using that just because you kind of wanted to tell this story, and who cares? It gets to the point faster.
Yeah, I like that we saw them as a couple here as well. That was cute.
Wait, which one?
Screech.
Maud and Mudbriar and
and the stick and the stone.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, at least they're sticking the muds in the background, so that's fine.
Sorry,
But they're so cute together, though.
Man, I have no investment. They tried to make a male mod to put mod with. It's like, I mean,
they're so cute.
Hey, who do we put
They
Twilight
complete each
with?
other.
Male Twilight.
Yay!
A book reader.
Stick in the mud. Stick in the mud is about as cute as a hole in the head.
But Jenn,
I mean, if it disappears, I will feel nothing.
Jenn?
Yes?
Jenn?
Yes?
You know, he's the only one that can give her the stick.
Oh. How rude.
Hey. Oh, look what you've done, Jay.
Excuse me.
You broke Jenn.
Again.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
I do not. It's all right. No apologies needed. No apologies needed.
That's
that was
why
brilliant.
she's smiling all of the time. Huh?
Define all of the time.
Dang.
Well, that's...
Oh, boy. Well, okay.
Okay, Pinky
at least you found one
comes
thing
like, I don't
worthwhile
understand why
about
Maud's
Mudbear.
smiling all the time.
Oh,
If that ever
boy.
happens, okay, if that ever happens, and Pinky's like, I don't understand why Maud's smiling all the time.
Okay.
I'll be like,
Okay.
stop the episode. We're done. We're done. We're done here. Oh my god, it's a
Hey,
bad
we also
friend.
got some Big Mac development in this, actually.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about Big Mac's development and also
go
what
on.
role Spike in Discord take, because this was probably the best part of the episode, and it's like, unlike Horseplay, it didn't need like the resounding efforts of Nicole Oliver's talents in order to carry like a usual story run through in order to make it entertaining. This was basically pure focus on Big Mac's big Achilles heel that he imposed upon himself after Where the Apple Lies in terms of the storyline, in which like he basically decided, in which he's starting to feel regret about like even opening up fully in the first place to other people via like his yammering and talking and such. Just saying like, maybe me spewing out these heartfelt feelings to Sugar Belle and fighting for her affection, all that wasn't worth it. I should probably shield off my heart and reject her the first chance I get in order for that shearing pain to not be inflicted upon me. Showing like a bit of like the back and forth. It's like, if a person doesn't want to feel like any sort of like pain and such and does so back, that's like a common method people do in order to like protect themselves, but being very selfish about it.
True.
Yeah.
This episode, you point out, it does kind of contradict what Where the Apple Lies suggested is the reason Big Mac doesn't talk much, and that's one reason I wouldn't mind more episodes like it. Please get Where the Apple Lies and all traces of it out of here.
Yeah, it's like this episode like also has like the two other members of the Guys Night crew basically acting as two different perspectives about love. Spike being the hopeless romantic, Discord being the ever sighing cynical.
The cynical, and then Big Mac, the quote newly single newly single stallion. No, wait, the heartbroken stallion.
The shortly single stallion.
Right, pretty much.
Very shortly.
The recently heartbroken stallion.
Yeah, and
I will say though, I'm good. You know, Gator.
You go first.
Chicken goes first. Yay.
Yeah. How about that novelty? Okay, but yeah, I will say, like, even outside the Crusaders, really not the most focused episode. Like the thing as far as also the thing with Discord goes, because Ian Spike, there's not really a character arc there that like they don't. I mean, there's loosely like Discord is winning the argument, and then he's not. But I mean, you know, there's not really like a clear path of his feelings seeming validated by what's happening, and then like something that connects to his character that makes him start to come around. Like it basically amounts to Spike and Discord just like kind of bickering about it, and then it eventually turns out that Discord had a heart all along, which is perfectly acceptable as like a showing of his character, but I mean it does leave a lot of stuff between him and Spike, for example, that just kind of doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, Fluttercord.
I mean,
I agree.
I definitely see where you're coming from. Second, I feel like this episode more kind of goes for like the more like this is like a realization of like these sort of feelings that one person heartbroken might have, and they were just using Spike and Discord in that sort of role. And while it wasn't literally like fully realized in that sort of sense, it was just like a more thrown into the wayside, like later on for like a shoehorning in Discord and as like sort of like the snake that like advises Big Mac to go down the dark path.
Yeah, but it's not annoying though. I think like it was really nice.
Like this is more of like Discord trying to seem like he's helping Big Mac become more realistic, like become disillusioned with the idea of romance and such, being like the right course of action. And doing that so sinisterly, and it's not even like, while it's shown like very much like villainous, at the same time it's like taking it at a different perspective. It's like it's just a guy just telling another guy like maybe some bad advice essentially, and the guy goes through with it, and it's just like the way they normalized it while also going with like that extra dimension of like villain corrupting the youth in order to go down the dark path. It's like I very much enjoy that imagery.
Yeah, they do get they do take the first few steps down that sort of subplot, but I mean, even that, it's like after Discord's advice doesn't work, like they almost don't even have to. He almost doesn't even have to acknowledge that it didn't work. It just sort of, they just sort of decide that okay, he's he now wants to help Sugar Bell, or at least help Big Mac catch up to Sugar Bell. They, like I said, it's just not very focused. It feels like they only, charted it out halfway. Like, okay, I guess we want Discord to start to win the argument, start to get Big Mac on his side, and then he changes his mind. And granted, that probably works better than if like you overplan something, like if somebody says a really deliberate line about the theme and Discord says a really deliberate line about his philosophy and somebody else says a really deliberate line to the contrary, and then a really deliberate moment happens that makes Discord say, "Oh my gosh, you were right all along." Like I mean, yeah, something like this. I mean, admittedly, it does life does sometimes kind of sort of work out like this, where people don't even think out what they're saying or doing very well. But I mean, the thing about like giving us a window into these fictional characters is that okay, you do have to engage your audience to an extent. You do have to communicate for, and I mean, it doesn't particularly seem like they had a fully formed vision here. It just seems like they're hitting the notes when they need to hit them to get the episode from A to B.
But are we going to go for final thoughts, or
what are you in a hurry to get this over with?
No, I'm just starting to get a little hungry.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say, this is the first episode that I've seen in quite a while that has so many subplots running alongside each other. So many subplots involved in the episode. It's very difficult to find the right balance, to make sure each one has the right amount of focus, and to make sure that each one, gets like finished. Which, like second, you were saying some of them didn't really have that kind of finish that you were looking for. But I would say this is kind of a good attempt at them.
I mean, it has its heart in the right place with most of that. I don't know what it had in mind with the Crusaders, but I mean, like well, I guess the thing about Nick Confalone is like, okay, he may not be, like I said, always the sharpest top of his game, like technical writer. I mean, like his stories, I often find they're pretty loose, pretty like they could use a rewrite or something. But when he gets the inspiration, he can be a very good character writer. And I feel like, yeah, this, for example, the where he like he's using the trope of, okay, they just misheard what Sugar Bell said, or like, or I mean, it could at least be compared to that trope. But the actual, like, what's at the heart of the story here is that they threw out the need for communication. Like, okay, it is that trope with yeah, he just misunderstood what Sugar Bell meant, but they actually call that out and make fun of it. Spike's like, hey, maybe it's this really unlikely thing that
yeah, that was funny.
Would technically fit what she said, and then it turns out it is exactly that. Like, that was one, really funny, and two, it does kind of vouch for a very good moral that, okay, heck, even if it's unlikely that it actually didn't mean anything bad and everything's okay, communication should still come first. Don't underestimate how important that is in a relationship. And like, that's the kind of one, like, thoughtful writing, the kind of nuance, and the kind of like not reliance on these tropes, like just as cut and pasted from exactly the way they've been done another 100,000 times. I mean, that's the kind of writing I'm honestly starting to miss these days.
For me, after giving a good look through on the MLP Wikia for like Nick Confalone's episodes, it helps me realize that, oh my god, I forgot Nick Confalone also wrote Dungeons of Discord 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's why this episode called back to that episode.
So it's like there's two sides of Nick Confalone in my perspective. The one who can't write the main six for shit, and the other side is like, okay, side characters, guys, let's make them awesome.
He didn't write Hard to Say Anything, though, did he?
Wait, Hard to Say Anything? No, that would be Becky Wangberg.
Yeah, so he took over for the second part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but even still, it still seemed to fit with like what occurred on Hard to Say Anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I give him major credos on that. Like, and aside from like my earlier comment about Big Mac and his development throughout the episode, I really did like the ending as it sort of like hinted like, I don't know. I mean, Spike might be interested in other creatures, not just Rarity. And it's like, thank you, Nick. You finally gave Spike the out he needed. Give him the out. Give him the out of Rarity.
It's kind of awesome that they ended with a Some Like It Hot reference too.
Yeah, that was cute.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. A one-dimensional skeleton model? All right.
My waifu.
It's everyone's new waifu.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the bonus skeleton.
The skeleton is going to be shipped with everybody now.
Yep.
Probably.
It's the new Rainbow Dash. It's gonna be shipped with everybody, even every pony, and even in the kitchen sink.
I thought that was Big Mac. They got shipped with everyone.
Well, that used to be Rainbow Dash, and now and then it used to be Big Mac, and now it's the skeleton pony.
And at one time it was Spike.
One time it was Spike, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
And now the skeleton pony's going to be shipped with every pony.
Yeah, that skeleton pony.
Cardboard
everyone's going to have a bone to pick.
Overall, I would like to rate this episode as a good episode. It doesn't like. I do agree with seconds. Like some parts of the episode might seem a bit wasted on a nonsensical like a runoff plot. But the central core of the episode was strong enough indeed to like keep this episode from like just being like, this is just like continue on this pointless relationship, and actually made this relationship mean something. That is something we needed. Hard to Say Anything was like, okay, we got the initial crush, like lovey-dovey stuff. Like we've seen this all before, but then it's like, Are we actually getting into some core love themes?
Yeah, I think the
It's possible.
just showed up. Hard to say anything as far as this whole, yeah, what do you call it? This love story, quote unquote, goes.
Yeah, and I think the ship has become stronger as a result of it, which I thank this episode.
Let the ship sail.
Which one or which ship?
Oh,
Mac and Sugar Bell.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, I know there was a couple of ships.
I got into that a lot more this time. Like Sugar Bell, she was good in whatchamacallit, the cutie map, but I mean, you only had so much to work with there, and I feel like hard to say anything. Forgot to like bring any of it back or add anything else.
Yeah,
That's true.
It felt like a nothing episode.
A little bit.
Yeah, except for the fact that it had the annoying feather bangs.
Yay, feather bangs!
Oh God, no. Justin Bieber pony.
Justin Bieber, voiced by Vincent Tong as well, by the way. So still.
Baby, oh.
One Bieber for the believers.
So nice. I actually really enjoyed this episode.
Ponies.
Yeah.
What was the other celebrity?
I see the subplot as like them finding out like friendship love is there too.
Well, like I said, with show don't tell though.
Like, we can fill in stuff. We don't need everything to be cut out for us, right?
Well, I mean that's fine if like we see it happening and like we said, they discovered they had a good time as friends, so that's why they're still happy at the end. They enjoyed what they did as friends together. But okay, you see, that's why I said show don't tell. They have them just say that at the end, and what we're filling in is any moment where they actually felt that, where they actually did something together and felt that. That's backwards. That's like me saying,
we know like they had like past experiences where they've been together and had all of this shenanigans.
That's like me saying, all right, I'm going to tell you the most moving, heart-warming story you ever heard. It's about an orphan who became a self-made success, saved countless lives, and was without doubt the most inspiring human being who ever lived. The end.
Is that Mother Teresa?
Yeah.
I didn't actually give you anything. I just gave you the idea for something there.
Yeah, but actually, I was also a little like, isn't there chaos in love? Shouldn't Discord be like fond of love? Actually, I know like it's funny that he's cynical and all of that stuff. I like that, but like, isn't there
it would have been funny if they'd gone that angle, admittedly, like Discord loves love because of all the fights and confusion that happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, like I was actually wondering if you two were actually affected by Discord right now, because you two were fighting like dogs and cats.
Oh yeah.
We're both stubborn when it comes to reviewing. That's
but I'm not giving in either.
Oh.
Like,
but I guess what that's
she tries.
Oh wait a minute! I didn't give my thoughts.
Yeah, that's I was trying to get around to any other final thoughts.
Okay. From what I said, I have to agree. This was actually a good Nick Confalone episode. I love the ship of Big Mac and Sugar Bell. I am for this. I am absolutely for this. I will help build this ship and have it sail off into the sunset and off to the moon. So I love those two together. It was so cute, and it was funny and not really annoying, but funny seeing like how intense Big Mac is for Sweetie Belle and not Sweetie Belle. Oh my gosh, for Sugar Belle. For Sugar Belle, I almost dang it.
We know Jenn.
Sorry.
There's two like distant relatives or something.
I'm sorry.
Like a Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt thing.
I hope not.
Both of them are unicorns.
I believe it.
Teddy Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt are actually rather closely related. Pinkie Pie and like AJ are like
distant cousins.
100 generations removed or something like that.
There's no real blood left in that relationship.
But I love those two. I love those two together. They're absolutely just adorable, just so adorable. And seeing those those three together, like Spike, Discord, and Big Mac. Now all of a sudden, I want to see like a Hangover episode with those guys and just see what kind of shenanigans. Just see what kind of shenanigans just happen. Like some sort of like Las Pegasus episode with those three, and just see what happens.
Protect the children.
No, do not.
That's too late.
Don't protect. You know what? Don't protect the children. They're gonna find out sometime. You might as well let them find out now.
They're going to find out that this stick means something else.
They're also going to find out what. They're also going to find out why they have a new brother or baby sister.
Yeah.
So you might as well get it out of the way.
Well, by the way, let's also have an episode about drag addicts.
Yay!
I'm not sure. Why not?
I mean, we already had Heisenberg in here. Let's go.
That is true. Then they got to go. Now they got to take that to another level. But now they got to expand on that.
Oh.
then they'll need Saul. Then they'll need Pony Saul.
Oh, you mean Jigsaw?
Yeah. No, I said no. You know the spinoff of that called Better Call Saul.
Oh, Better Call Saul. I thought you meant the Saul.
No, absolutely freaking not. No. Jigsaw
That's a little
can
bit
say
too much, yeah.
No,
Hello,
that's too much.
ponies. I want to play a game.
No.
And Pinkie Pie's like,
no.
All you have to do was ask.
Oh my gosh. Jigsaw can just stay where he is. Jigsaw can just stay where can just stay where it is. Just stay where it is. We don't need it in Equestria.
No.
But either way.
Jigsaw tries to show Discord the value of life, and Discord like, no, better yet, why don't I show you the value of life? There, now you're in the trap.
That'll work. There you go. Jigsaw episode done. Perfect. We're done. Roll the credits.
Mm-hmm.
But
Discord gets buried in cement and suffocates.
That's horrible. No.
No, he's actually turned into stone.
No, it's terrible. Discord does not deserve that.
I don't know if, just regular stone would be powerful enough for that.
They had to have a special kind of stone or whatever it was. I don't know.
Kryptonite.
Kind of stone.
You think kryptonite works on any super powerful being?
Who knows?
That Freakazoid episode.
But either way, these are some. I like some like the real life kind of things, like the whole like we need to talk thing. That was a very very clever tactic to put in there. Other than that, cute seeing all the other couples, even the stick in the mud, and as long as he stays in the background and keeps his mouth shut, fine. But Day Lover, thanks to that joke you made about you may have just saved him from the glue factory.
Yay.
Because now I'm gonna be thinking about that joke, and then I'm just gonna be snickering all through the day. Like,
try to watch the episode again with that in mind.
Stick in the mod.
And they're playing with stick and stone.
And Jenn shuts down.
And that's also why Pinkie Pie. That's also why Pinkie Pie can't give her what Mudbry is giving her.
Jenn is shutting down.
All right. Any other closing thoughts?
I'm dead.
This is the kind of episode that makes Jenn have to go to the hospital, as you can see. But
Sorry, allergies. So
no, it's cool.
And I forgot about the mute button. So.
Boy, no, don't stop. This is absolutely hysterical. But all right. This is the kind of episode though that for the past 2-3 seasons usually comes in 10th place on my top 10 of the season. Like, it's the writing's not great, but okay, there is something that's above par here. Like Yeah, now that I've had time to phrase it out better, like the thing with Big Mac, misunderstanding what he overhears from Sugar Bell, that trope, like a lesser episode would have had it just be that trope. This episode, one, makes fun of it, and then two, like, kind of rises above it, turns it into a theme that is actually very useful and very much needed in today's world. Don't forget the need for communication. That's how these things go south. You know, even if you think that what you're assuming is right and that it's something not good, okay, it's, you know, always better to nip it in the bud ahead of time, talk about it, get it out in the open, let them know your feelings on it. And I mean, okay, that is, as far as the way you framed it, it was clever, it was funny, and it made a lot of sense. But, it's just like, oh, sorry, what?
What?
Well, okay, but I mean, and actually, I mean, that's like, that just like taken on its own is the kind of writing that is made for some of my favorite episodes, but like where this one, I'd say it's more like a B or a B plus, somewhere in between there. Like, it's just not the most focused episode. Like it sort of is going, this way and that way with all the different subplots, like Alex said, and then like the strong characterization and themes and moments just sort of like appear out of the haze in like moments. And it's not I guess downright okay, I don't know if the right way to say it is that it's not sloppy, but it's not okay, like it's not
focused.
It's unfocused, but it's not. But okay, that's almost better than being focused in the wrong direction, or it doesn't forget. It at least doesn't forget the things at the core of the episode, the relationship between Big Mac and Sugar Bell, and what it is that makes them so good, and what it is they need to learn. It does at least hold on to that enough to get the job done. So like but yeah, like I said, like all of that just sort of emerges from the haze of the Crusaders going this way and Discord going that way, and Spike's bet with him and all of the above.
Yeah, but even though that you think like you have a secret admirer, you don't need to be sad because you have your friends. That's actually the subplot, right?
Well, it starts out with the notion that the Crusaders are unhappy.
You have other ones to, have focus on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you want to focus on other people, why even have the subplot? Like it starts
because
out
it needs to show like there's different forms of love and.
Well, it doesn't really show that. It says it. It has the Crusaders say that for 10 seconds at the end.
Yeah, isn't that enough?
No, it's not, because that's not a story. That's just you saying, "Oh, hey, and this thing too."
Stories together with each other, and like them having this subplot, I actually think it's cute.
Yeah, well, let's hear. You said that. Okay, the point was that you don't need to be all mad over secret admirers, or you don't need to be unhappy that you don't have one. It starts out with the notion.
It happens a lot on Valentine's Day and stuff like that. People getting so sad over like maybe they had a secret admirer and then they found out like they don't have, and like this episode actually shows you how you can move on. Take contact to your friends. It
doesn't show you. It tells you unsupportedly. It starts out with the notion that the Crusaders.
Though, you can still make the connection yourself, though.
All right, that's it. Put them up. We're gonna settle this right now, you.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna.
Yes.
That's right. We'll have this kissing war.
Oh, get a room, you kids.
All right.
But I mean, it starts out with the notion that the Crusaders do want this. Do want secret admirers, and then they try to find out who it is, and then they don't find one, and the problem is that they don't know who it is, and then it turns out it was all a mistake, and then
That can happen to you in real life as well, though.
True.
Okay, and where are you going with any of? Hey, this thing that could sort of happen.
But
what was the moral of it?
in real life, it's not there many. There's not there many laws involved when that happens. It's very
really irritating, and you get really sad. So I actually feel like this is a good way to show people like you don't have to also be sad about maybe breakups as well, right?
Yeah.
Getting into contact with your friends, and there's other forms of love, as I said.
Actually, I just got a pretty funny image of the Crusaders, just like, the original dialogue, them sitting there at the end, like, okay, well, that was a thing, and we have absolutely no reason to care about anything that just happened. Somebody want to throw a moral? Somebody want to throw a moral into this? Like, okay, let's see.
But
how about
Sugar Bell already told us the moral, though.
Reaches into the hat. How about?
He says it all right.
Ooh, this one. We have our friends so that it's all okay. Yeah, that works.
I think he's trying to wrap this up.
It's basically saying, don't be disappointed in the fact that you don't have a secret admirer.
Yes.
Take a step back and look at what you already have.
Yay!
Very true. Very true.
Has to take a step back. They have her just say that, like. Okay. Well, it wasn't for me. The moral is.
What Sugar Bell said to Big Mac.
The moral of the episode is it's just like in the Justin Bieber song, "Love Yourself."
Yay!
There you go.
Love yourself.
The way
you look that much, oh baby, you should go and eat some pie. Oh, whoops, wrong song.
All right. But any other last thoughts?
I want pie.
Hey.
Love and yes, love is chaos. Love is chaos. Love is definitely chaos. Absolutely wonderful, beautiful.
Chaos.
It's absolutely wonderful, beautiful, absolutely filled, octane-filled chaos.
And lastly, a little bit of disorder can help certain moments blossom.
Yeah,
very
that's
true.
Oh, and milkshakes
That's
do
very
make
true.
things better, in spite of what this episode said.
Yeah.
Does that mean it brings the boys to the yard? Oh, wrong moral. Wrong moral.
With sticks.
And never forget to drink your problems away. Just follow Big Mac's moral.
Not the alcoholic references.
Because drinking solves everything.
No.
That is a bad lesson. Do not take that lesson, kids.
Yeah.
But nobody's perfect.
Yay!
And neither is love. That's why love is chaos.
Yay!
Oh.
Celebrate chaos. Yay!
All right. But like I said, I felt this was a charming episode. I felt this is better than the last CMC Big Mac Sugar Bell episode. So
Yeah.
I like them so much better now. Like, yeah. Sorry, Maud and Mudbriar, but you're still worst couple.
No!
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Wait.
However,
what about Twilight and Flash Century?
But however, best
couple?
joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they flirted with each other, but I'm talking about the couples that have officially been paired together.
Yeah, Hasbro sort of abandoned that ship.
The ship has sunk.
It fell flat on his face.
There's no flashlight no more.
It went underground even after going under the subterranean.
No,
and honestly,
it's sunk. It's and you hear that? I hear the Titanic music coming. Yep.
But the thing is, honestly, I feel sorry for Flash Sentry because he's not a bad character. They don't give a crud about him.
I agree. I do. I like Flash. He's just a guy. He's a nice guy. And
he started out as like Dreamboat guy, but where I will give him the edge with the guy they tried to replace him with.
No. Flash was never
character.
a Dreamboat. No, Flash was never really the Dreamboat character. The thing is that No. But here's the thing. This is the one thing that could have made Flash instantly Dreamboat character. He plays the guitar, and all of a sudden, all the girls are like all up on him, and like, "Oh, Flash is so cool! You're playing the guitar, yeah!" But no, Flash just plays the guitar and he's just by himself.
Well,
So,
the most popular girl in the school just got done dating him. I mean, I feel like
he's
the implication is kind
but
of
here's
there.
the problem. That's the problem with Flash. But that's the problem with Flash. He just got dumped by the most popular girl. So that means he's not Dreamboat material because in these young adult novels, the Dreamboats are always with each other. But not in this case. He's been dumped, so he's been put to the side. What?
How do you know he didn't break up with her?
Okay, good point there. Good.
I feel if he would try that she would. I feel if he would try, she would break up with him first because she would pick it up.
Yeah.
All right, just like what this episode showed us.
Yay!
But yeah,
I feel sorry with Flash. I mean, he's just getting screwed around because like the Twilight he loves.
A little bit.
Yeah, and now he's got this doppelganger Twilight. I'm like, that's just messing with his brain.
Yeah, who instead is going for not him but male Twilight. And
you mean the Timber? You mean Timber?
Yeah, well, that's the probably best attempt to make me remember his name that anyone's ever made. So thanks for that. But yeah, like Flash does at least have his own character. Like going for male Twilight is almost even worse than going for.
But Flash is not. But the thing is, Flash is not like typical Dreamboat character. If he were Dreamboat characters are usually always jocks. Okay. They're almost always jocks. But in this case, but in another case, they could be the rock star and everything. But here's the thing: he's not really a rock star. He just plays the guitar, I think, because he just likes to play. He just plays because he just plays like that. He's not like playing to get girls.
No,
I hope not. True. I hope not. At least.
No, it seems like when he's with one, he keeps her. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but I guess see you all next week in the episode. Apparently, you've been waiting for.
Yes. I can't wait for next episode.
I'll make sure I'm on time.
And we'll stop sprinkling flowers on Jenn so she doesn't sneeze.
Thanks,
Thank you.
We'll go kiss it out to finally settle this.
Yes.
Oh dear. Get to bed, you kids.
Yes, ma'am.
Get to bed.